Hope you're all doing great out there. And today I wanted to bring you a video regarding the mixed martial arts world and the UFC fights we have coming up this weekend. And that's gonna be Yair No Rozenstruik against Cyril Gane. This is gonna be a battle of the heavyweights. This is gonna be an epic fight. I think this fight is definitely gonna be one that's gonna go to the finish. Considering they can both easily knock each other out, which is something that's likely to happen. And I literally viewed this fight as two Francis Ngannou's going head to head with each other because they both seem like the type of fighters to be able to stand and fight and swing at each other. So I think these two guys fighting is going to be an excellent one to close off the show for the fight on Saturday, February the 27th, which is going to be this weekend. Main card starting at 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus, and we have the prelim starting at 2 p.m. So stay tuned, guys. That's gonna be one great event for that day. So I wanted to go ahead and break down as to what I think, as to who I think is gonna win this fight between Yairno Rozenstruik. I'm not sure if the Z is silent there, but I'm gonna go by his last name, Rozenstruik against Cyril Gane. So Cyril Gane is, I believe, a French fighter. I believe this is his debut. Oh no, it's not his debut. He's certainly been in the UFC before. He's actually had multiple victories in the UFC. His last one being at UFC 256, knocking out Junior Dos Santos, getting his seventh straight victory. So he's 7-0. He's got 3 wins by knockout. He's got 3 wins by submission, and he's got one by decision. So this guy is certainly he's certainly a fighter to be reckoned with. So Cyril Gane is something to not blink an eye on because he's 7-0 and he's beat his opponents in spectacular fashion, which was mostly by submission or by knockout, and he's only got 1 win by decision and he's got no losses. So that's Cyril Gane, the French fighter. That's gonna be headlining the UFC Fight Night this weekend, February the 27th. And then his opponent is gonna be Yairno Rozenstruik, and he's 11-1. And he's also a really good fighter. Certainly someone that's very, very scary. Looking at his resume, he's got 10 wins by knockout. So he's got 10 wins by knockout and 1 win by submission. One loss by knockout. And look at that. I literally had to say that 2 times in a row. Mentioning that, he's got 10 wins by knockout. So that is crazy. And 1 win by decision. And he's only lost once by knockout. And that was against Francis Ngannou. So, in a sense, he's got pretty much a taste of his own medicine. And I feel like Cyril Gane is pretty much a fighter similar to Francis Ngannou and himself, of course, considering he's also a um, knockout artist. Because I believe Cyril Gane definitely has the knockout power and the striking accuracy to be able to go ahead and put Rozenstruik to sleep because if Francis Ngannou can do it, Cyril Gane can do it too, and vice versa. If Cyril Gane can do it, Francis Ngannou can definitely do it too because this is the heavyweight division, guys. You get touched on the chin, especially by one of these animals, man, you're going to sleep. So, um, as to who I believe is gonna win. Honestly, I really don't know. It looks like Yairno Rozenstruik was able to come back from his loss from Francis Ngannou and get the knockout victory over Junior Dos Santos. And it looks like Cyril Gane's last victory was also against Junior Dos Santos. So both of these fighters have a victory over Junior Dos Santos. So that's definitely an interesting factor there. So they were both able to finish JDS. So JDS is a veteran in this game. He's been around for a while, but again, I feel like he's one of those fighters that I've always mentioned before that should leave the UFC and should leave fighting in general because this is a very dangerous sport, man. You keep getting knocked out like that. I can't see it having good benefit for themselves in the long term, for the fighters in the long term. So yeah, man, I really care about these fighters. This is, this isn't basketball. There's not, football, man. This, fighting. This is going for the, kill. This is going for the finish. This is going for, you know, defeating your opponent, finishing them in the rounds that they're given, in the time that they're given in the rounds. So, this is a very dangerous sport, but when somebody's time has passed, I believe that they should not push themselves to be able to prove a point because everybody has their time and they should be able to take advantage of it when they can, right? So and yeah, I believe JDS like Don Cerrone, I believe these fighters should retire. I believe they should get a good, exit payday and call it a career and move on to something, different. So again, getting back to who I believe is gonna win against these two fighters between Rozenstruik and Gane. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Gane because if he comes in with the technique to grapple right Yarino Rozenstruik, and I don't know how good Yarino's ground game is. Obviously he hasn't won anything by submission. Just because he's been able to knock out his opponents just so quickly in either the first or second round. In most of the fights, having 10 wins by knockout and only one by decision, and having no wins or losses by submission. So I don't know. Cyril Gain certainly seems to have some ground game ability. So he's got 3 wins by submission, none by submission, no losses by submission. So that's certainly something to consider whenever we see as to who who's gonna win this fight. So looking at these two fighters here, I believe. I don't know. I feel like Cyril Gain can possibly win only because his ground game is so good and he's got 3 wins by submission. So Rozenstruik has no wins by submission, so we don't really know how it's gonna be whenever the fight gets to the floor. Because if Cyril Gain is smart, he'll use his grappling and wrestling abilities, if he has any, to put Rozenstruik to the ground. And I say if he has any because I haven't actually seen Cyril Gain fight, but he's obviously made a name for himself to be headlining this weekend's fight against Rozenstruik. So Yarino always brings it. It's always a show, when he fights because, come on, guys, when you know it's gonna be a knockout, you don't want to blink and you're standing up watching this fight, cheering on. So if you're a real fight fan, and for all the new viewers that are new to the sport of mixed martial arts and um, you know, the sport in in general, and the sport of fighting and combat sports in general. I say it's very very fun, especially whenever you get to know the competitors and the fighters. I say that when you get to know the fighters that actually focus more on the stand up and try to go for the finish in spectacular fashion like a knockout or a TKO. Then those are the fights. Especially when you're a fan, you're on your feet. Cheering on, yeah, yeah, yeah. When's it gonna end? When's it gonna end? Especially when the two fighters are literally slugging it out and just throwing punches at each other. So um, it's always very, very you know, interesting and fun. Whenever fights like that are created, and I believe this one between Gane and Rozenstruik is definitely one of those. So you don't want to miss that out. But yeah, these two it's really hard to tell. I mean, it's fighters, it's a puncher's chance. fighters punch. So any of them getting any of them can knock each other out. That's why I said from the very beginning that this fight is you know two Francis Ngannou's fighting at each other, because any of them touching each other on the chin is gonna end the fight, honestly. So it's gonna be interesting. So I'll say that much, and don't miss it, guys. It's gonna be fun. But let's go ahead and check out some of the other fights on this card. We have Nikita Krylov against Magomed Ankalaev. I don't know these fighters, but it looks like they're new faces. It looks like they're fighters that are gonna come and slug it out. So these new guys that Dana White in the UFC always bring on, usually tend to put on such spectacular fights, because they're usually foreigners, and not Americans. And these guys, want to put themselves on this platform, and they really want to earn it. So they have that immigrant mentality, as it's always circulated in that quote. So immigrant mentality, which is pretty much people coming out from different countries that aren't really doing well financially, trying to make it out in the United States. So these guys are hungry. They're gonna come out and put on a fight. So it's definitely gonna be something very interesting to watch. So the third fight is gonna be women's flyweight between Montana De La Rosa against Mayra Buena Silva. I'm not Hispanic, but I don't know how Hispanic I sounded there. But yeah, women's fight is always very interesting. They usually always put on the show. And then the fourth fight is gonna be in the bantamweight division between Pedro Munoz and Jimmy Rivera, and these are fighters we know, and I think those two guys are also gonna slug it out. So this entire card so far is looking very interesting, guys. So this Saturday, February the 27th, prelim card starting at 2 p.m. Main card starting at 5 p.m. It's gonna be a war. Both of the fight cards are going to be starting on at 2 and 5 respectively on ESPN Plus. So be sure to tune in, and be sure to also let me know as to who you guys think is going to win between these fighters, especially this main event between Rozenstruik and Surreal Gain. So I believe it's a fighter's chance. It could go either way. It's who gets who. But I believe if Surreal Gain is a little bit smart, he'll be able to come grapple Rozenstruik and try to tire him out, tire his arms out, try to get him to the ground, and try to win the fight by decision, just by being on top of him. Because I mean, you know, uh, why risk getting knocked out whenever you have the advantage over your opponent to be able to put him to the ground and get the submission or decision victory. So I would root for Gane. I don't know what the fight odds are, but speaking of fight odds, let's go ahead and check really quickly, because we can do it really quickly. So let's go ahead and do that. And the guys, I'm really trying to be able to make a video every single day, but I just have my mind so much everywhere. You guys know I make cryptocurrency videos, and I'm also a trader. So the cryptocurrency markets are very volatile, and for if you're a cryptocurrency guy, I'm trying to make these two communities unite and become a hybrid one, because I'm into crypto and the sport of mixed martial arts and combat sports. And usually whoever's into combat sports is into mixed martial arts. I mean, whoever's into combat sports and mixed martial arts is into the cryptocurrency and financial world, and whoever's usually into the financial world and the cryptocurrency space usually has a liking for UFC and the sports of combat. So that's why I'm kind of making this into a hybrid channel. I want everyone to come in and create a hybrid discussions, and obviously have certain focuses whenever there's certain trends, right? So uh, it's very fun in both communities, I believe. So both in the world of finance and both in the world of combat sports, I believe. Again, whoever's into combat sports is into yeah, the financial world, and just living a good financial lifestyle. And I believe whoever's also into living a good financial lifestyle tends to have a liking for combat sports, whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, or anything else that has to do with combat. So getting back to who or not who, but getting back to the fighting odds for this weekend's main event between Rozenstruik and his opponent Cyril Gane. It looks like Cyril Gane is the favorite and Rozenstruik is the Rozenstruik. Yeah, Cyril Gane is the favorite and Rozenstruik is the underdog. So um, honestly, plus 210. It's probably worth putting a bet only just because this fight can go either way. I mean, if Cyril Gane gets if he gets touched on the jaw, he's going to sleep. So, I believe a fight like this should have been what do you call it? At least a little bit equal, but Cyril Gane, to be minus 270, I believe is a little bit wicked because just because he has a little bit of ground game doesn't mean he's gonna be able to pull it off. And this is the heavyweight division, guys. So these guys are heavy, and there's only so much strength in their arms. So we'll see what happens this Saturday, but be sure to tune in. It's gonna be very interesting. Fights. There's a lot of new faces, and I love when the UFC brings in new faces. About a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was complaining and saying, UFC has to get rid of all these, old guys, that have had their chance to get at the belt, and that just show up to put on the fight and leave. I said that UFC needs to stop doing those super fights also, and get back to the competitiveness of the rankings and how the rankings should be, and strictly stick to the rankings. So and that's what made the UFC in the first place. Sticking with the rankings. Conor McGregor, being able to beat his opponents and coming up and getting the two belts, and he did that naturally. So go ahead and drop your comments as to who you guys believe is gonna be winning in this weekend's fight between Rozenstruik and Cyril Gane. It's gonna be a war, guys. Be sure to tune in and subscribe to my channel, guys. I'm trying to create a hybrid community between the financial world and the sport of mixed martial arts and combat sports in general. And when I say the financial world, I also mean those that are involved in the stock market, because I'm starting off with the cryptocurrency market, but I am looking at the whole stock market idea as well. I haven't bought any stocks yet, but there are a couple that I'm looking at that I actually like. I like the Home Depot stock for some reason. It didn't do too bad in the crash last year in March, but it's something that's been able to stay steady in terms of going up. So the Home Depot stock has been pretty cool that I've been looking at. But again, this is a whole other discussion, guys. But drop those comments as to who you guys think is gonna be winning in this weekend's fights, and also like my video and subscribe, guys. And I'll probably do another video for cryptocurrency, and that's to what the market situation is looking like, because right now Bitcoin is at 47,000. Wow. So remember, guys, we had the crash to 47,000, and then it went back up to like 51,000, and now it crashed back down to 47,686, and Ethereum sitting at 1477. So is the bull run over? Is the bear market beginning to kick in? We don't know. We'll see. Right now, again, it's February the 25th, 3:48 p.m. Pacific time. But this is a topic and discussion for a whole separate video, guys. But let me know as to who you guys is gonna be winning this weekend. And with all that said, guys, be good out there. Be wise, be successful, and be safe in what you're doing. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.